In the past few years, we've been asked the question of why is my doctor's office asking me to prepay for my visit, whether it's the copay or put down a credit card where they put in a pre-authorization. Why is billing becoming more invasive, more upfront for my doctor's office? A lot of doctor's offices are now asking for credit cards and they put a hold on it, similar to if you go to the gas station, let's say your tank of gas might be $50, but they put a $200 hold just to see if you've got the credit, got the money. And the reason for that is because a lot of doctor's offices are having trouble collecting the money that's due. So the cost of healthcare, as we all know, has gotten sky high and it continues to rise. A lot of companies that we work with are getting 10, 20% rate increases on their health insurance year over year. And the ironic thing is that the number of doctors is not increasing, and the amount that doctors make are actually decreasing if you look at inflation-adjusted salaries. So one question we'll answer later is, where's the money going? And it's a lot of administration, a lot of high cost of new therapies, but also doctors' offices are struggling because deductibles have risen, copays have gotten higher, and a lot of times patients aren't able to pay for their medical services. So even in the year 2000, 40% of all bankruptcies in the United States happened not because somebody was irresponsible, they went clubbing, ate out at expensive restaurants, bought expensive cars. It was because of medical debt. They had high costs, they couldn't pay for it, and they had to file bankruptcy. So 40% of Americans in 2000. Now fast forward to today, that number is over 60%. So the number of bankruptcies has increased. The percentage of people that are going into bankruptcy due to medical costs has also increased. And then also recently in 2023, the credit bureaus have said, hey, if you owe $500 or less in terms of medical bills and you don't pay it, it's not going on your credit score. So what do you think people are going to do? If it's not going to affect my credit, if I already received the service, if I really can't afford it, if I'm choosing between groceries or paying my doctor, who I assume make a lot of money, that's a common misconception, is that doctors make a lot of money. People are not going to pay their medical bills. And that leads to issues with the doctor's office because these places are not high margin businesses. I was part of a small practice during my medical training. I looked at the numbers, and these practices are not making a ton of money. Doctor salaries, fine, they're above average in terms of salaries versus the general public. But in terms of profitability, in terms of if you have people just bailing out on $50 copays, $500 bills, that adds up really quickly. And that's why doctors' offices are starting to add a lot more fees up front. They're asking for copays up front. They're asking to put a hold on your credit card, because if doctors' offices are not able to collect all of these copays and fees, they're not going to stay in business. And that's why a lot of these companies are buying up doctors' offices and consolidating them, because a lot of doctors aren't taught about business in medical school, and they're not able to run their practice because all of a sudden you run into these cash flow problems. If 25% of your copays are now not being paid because people say, well, if it's less than $500, it's not going on my credit. That's going to be a huge issue with any business, and especially for doctors' offices. So that's a big reason why doctors' offices are now collecting more and more money up front. And so expect to see that as a common, if not a standard practice from now on.